Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Hoy and Tomorrow. I'm your host, Veronica Estrada. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't yet, please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with at least 3 of your friends. We really appreciate your support, and thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm excited to continue the conversation that I started with you guys in my last solo episode, which was titled Tragedy as Inspiration, and it was touching on the loss of the legendary Kobe Bryant and the other passengers that were in the helicopter that also lost their lives. And I also talked about my personal experience with death and my friend who I recently lost, and shared some insights with you. And so the tips that I shared with you had to do with using tragedy and death as an inspiration and a catalyst to really step into your own epic greatness every day. And I want to share one of my favorite quotes with you. It's from the movie Troy, and Achilles says, "The gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal, because any moment may be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we're doomed." And I love that quote because it really encapsulates what I was trying to say and communicate in the Tragedy as Inspiration episode, which is yes, of course, we have to mourn, and we are deeply saddened with the events when we lose someone that we love or that we respect or a hero. But we can also make long-lasting changes from those experiences, personal changes. And my 2 tips for you guys were, number 1, to spend some time journaling about what you'd like to be said about you at your funeral or in your obituary. And the second tip was to try to not complain. And those are 2 things that have helped me get clarity and also show up in my life in a way that's more joyful versus very reactionary and like not emotionally aware. So I wanted to let you guys know that, my objective here with this show is to lead by example. So I went ahead and did what I told you guys to do. I wrote my obituary, and of course I researched it a bunch because that's what I like to do. And I found out that there's really 3 components that, for purposes of this exercise, that we care about in the obituary. It's appropriate for me to share it with you, just in solidarity, even though you don't have to share yours with anybody, or if you want to share it with me, that would be awesome. You can do that on Instagram. You can send me a DM. I'm at Vero Estrada, and I'd love to chat with you about any insights that you've had around that. So the 3 components of an obituary are the announcement of death, a biographical sketch, and special notes, I believe. Yeah, special message. So there's 6 components, but these are the ones that matter for us. And the announcement of death part, that's kind of where it gets, it might be weird because you're like, I don't want to call in death. I don't want to put this out there. So what I did is I put, my full name. I put Veronica Estrada, age to be determined, place of residence when deceased to be determined, born in Queens, New York, passed away surrounded by her family. So I wanted to keep the announcement of death in because that way the work actually has integrity, right? Because if we leave out the announcement of death in the obituary, I felt like that's kind of, like an easy way out. So I just kept it really simple. And from there, the biographical sketch, that's the part that's really like the big part of what the exercise that I asked you guys to do. And so a biographical sketch, and I'll just read it here from my notes, is a recounting of the most important events, qualities, contributions, and connections in a person's life. So here is my biographical sketch for my personal obituary. Veronica grew up in South Central LA, attended public school in Pacific Palisades, graduated from Pepperdine University and Stanford or Harvard Business School. She was a passionate life coach and inspirational speaker. Veronica was an enthusiastic board member of the Fulfillment Fund, Girls Who Code, and the LA School District. Veronica was instrumental in leading the charge in changing the way public school education is taught. She inspired millions of students through her dedication to learning and teaching how to optimize the human body, mind, and spirit so they are in alignment with our individual and society's highest good. She changed the way students learned to learn and planned for their future so that it was infused with deep love and purpose, which had a cascade effect on the inner city communities in Los Angeles. And then the special message I put, in lieu of flowers, please make contributions to the Maria Angela Espinosa Scholarship Fund. These are all dreams that I have, that some I've accomplished, some I have yet to accomplish, and some I just don't even know how I'm gonna get there. But I wanna share what happened as I worked on this. This is sort of like, this is a few iterations from the first time I sat down with it. So I sat down with it on Monday after the episode, and then I left it open on my computer and I came back to it, read it again, made some edits. I slept on it, and then I read it again, made some more edits, and yeah, I'm happy with where it's at now. And I'm really excited because it gave me a lot of clarity on where I want to make the biggest impact. As a life coach, I love working with people one-on-one, but also something that's been calling me is helping students in public school, because I went to public school and I realized there's a lot of things that could be different in that space so that we can prepare the next generation for success. So I realized that I do want to have a bigger impact on the youth, especially in inner cities in LA where I grew up. And that's something that I can actually start doing sooner rather than later. And I'm really excited to know that this is where, like, what my heart really wants to do and how I want to be remembered. The other thing that I loved is that in the special message, you can ask people to give money to, you know, a cause or your family or whatever it is that speaks to you. But use it also as an opportunity to reflect on what are some of the belief systems that I have about myself. Like, if you find it hard to write about your big dreams or the impact you want to make in the world, like, just notice that and be really gentle with yourself and patient with yourself and give it a few tries. And just, again, use this as research, as a jumping off point so that you can get to know yourself better. And in the whole process, again, you have more awareness about your dreams, your goals, where you have room for improvement, and what steps you can start taking to be the best version of yourself. You know, in my special message, I asked that people give donations to this scholarship fund that ever since my grandmother passed away, I've had the dream and goal of establishing a scholarship fund in her name that would support students that were like me when I was in school. And so I keep this goal front of mind, and I've had it for 4 years now, no, 3.5 years or so. I don't have the scholarship fund going yet, but I know that it's definitely something that's super important to me and that I'm gonna get going as soon as it's available. And that keeps me motivated to keep working with my clients, keep bringing in different sources of revenue, and also helps me, you know, be mindful of my spending and really change some of the ideas I have about myself and what I do with my money. Because I think that it's important to have these really long-term goals so that we have really something to strive towards in our lives. And so I am glad that I shared my obituary draft with you, and I hope that it makes it less intimidating for you to write your own, or at least start thinking about yours. I know that this kind of work is sometimes challenging, but I'm here to support you, and I'm really happy that you are tuning in and listening. I want to continue to inspire you to live in a way that any day may be a good day to die. Again, thank you so much for watching Hoy and Tomorrow. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks so much. See you next time.